Hey guys, it's Wes with HappyFeet Ogden. We're back for episode 10. We've done 10 of these episodes now. Today, we are going to talk about some of the challenges of the programming and the curriculum. Because let's face it, as awesome as HappyFeet is, we're not impervious to a lot of the problems that can exist in reaching or teaching this type of stuff to this age group. So the first thing is that I want to talk about is problems for the coach. So there's kind of three different problems that I can kind of come up with off the top of my head. One of them is time management, which honestly, I'm awful with time management sometimes. So like our classes are half an hour. Our demos that we do in some of these schools are supposed to be like 15 minutes. I think the demos that I've done so far were probably half an hour. So like time management is really key, especially when there's multiple classes at the same school back to back. So you have say the 2s and 3s coming in for the first class, and you go over 5 minutes, and that sets your next class back. And if you have to be at another school after that, it sets that back. It's kind of that domino effect. So having coaches that have very good time management skills are key. Keeping an eye on the clock, whether it's on your cell phone or your wristwatch or your smartwatch. Those things are crazy, I think. But anything that you can do a coach can do to keep track of time and to keep progressing the curriculum, the class is really key. The next thing is, as all parents know, every kid's personality is different from every other kid's personality. They may be a little similar sometimes, or they may agree on certain things, but every kid is different. And so when you get a group of 10, 12, 15 sometimes kids in the same class, and you may have the overexcited one that's running around and not focusing on Bob at all, and then you have another one that's really shy and timid and does his tippy toes real light and doesn't get his feet up. And then you have maybe there's a kid with learning disability or autism. Even we've had a lot of experience with autistic kids in the curriculum, and there's some really good things that come out of that. But regardless of what type of personality you have, those types of things can be challenging for a coach to overcome and keep all the kids on track. And so we kind of have a lot of triggers that are and conditioning that are built into the program. So for instance, when we do a stop Bob, everybody stops, puts their airplane wings out and their foot on top of Bob to stop Bob, teaching trapping skills and balance and coordination. That's one of our triggers. So when we're doing something and the kids are there might be a couple kids that are kind of straying around or their balls are flying everywhere, we say stop Bob, and everybody knows, if they've been in the class for a couple sessions, they know that coach means stop. We need to stop. Another thing is a lot of preschool teachers like to say when they walk down the hall and they need to be quiet, put a bubble in your mouth. And so the kids put a bubble in their mouth, they can't talk. A good trigger to kind of keep them in line, paying attention, keep their attention a little more. Or put your hands on your head, put your hands on your chin, put your hands on your knees, that type of thing, which works really well, I found. So there's a couple tactics that you can use, techniques you can use, and again, all of our coaches are trained in these things that are built into our curriculum. The last thing for coaches is the mixed ages. So like sometimes you're gonna have a small class that has 2s and 5-year-olds in them together, and that's really hard. And we try not to do that just so that the kids can get more out of it. But sometimes you're gonna wind up with that, and it's very hard to tailor a curriculum, a specific class to that large of age range. It's something that we try to not do, but sometimes happens. For the kids, there's 4 things I just want to touch on real briefly. Consistency is key. That can be a huge problem. When you're switching coaches up, you're switching where a class is held too much, kids can kind of get out of routine. So one of the things that I like to do, what we're going to be doing with our coaches, is a coach has a school. That's their school. The only reason a coach should not be at the school for a class is if they are sick or for inclement weather. Those are the only 2 reasons that we allow our coaches to not be at a school. We don't like switching coaches up. We want to keep that as consistent as possible. The other thing is an unfun coach. We've all had teachers that were boring. I remember a few in high school that I fell asleep in class because of that. I'm sure we can all relate to that. But so an unfun coach, that's on me. I'm hiring coaches. I need to kind of do that in my pre-screening, right? So what we're looking for in coaches is somebody that's enthusiastic, can engage with kids really well, can be personable with the school staff and parents. So we're not going to be hiring somebody that doesn't have a passion for what we're doing and can't exhibit that in a fun way. Um, Timidity and shyness, something I commented on earlier, that can be a challenge for children, getting them out of their shell. But I believe that our curriculum is kind of designed to get them out of a shell. Um, I remember working with one kid in particular that was very shy, and after a few classes, building up his confidence and seeing that he can actually do some of the very fundamental things that we were teaching them, he started coming out a little bit more. I think it's something that you kind of see over time, and is something that I think any child can overcome at that age range. And the last thing is a class similar to the mixed age range. A kid, maybe a new kid to the class, a new enrollee, being in a class of 5-year-olds, he's 5'2", being in a class of 5-year-olds that are more advanced because they've been in it longer. It's a challenge, but at the same time, if you have a good coach and they can kind of target that child and help them progress individually, because everybody has a bob, everybody has a ball, they can progress at their own pace. So that child can progress and catch up to where these other kids are, especially if the older kids for some reason don't feel their need to challenge themselves. So a lot of these issues, these challenges in the programming can be overcome. A lot of those solutions are built into our curriculum, but it's also dependent on the people that are involved. So if you guys have other maybe ideas of what challenges there could be, I'd love to hear them. Leave them in the comments. Email us, get to us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and just keep watching. Thanks.